Have you ever wondered where a deleted file actually goes? It doesn't just vanish into nothingness. It gets sent to the basement of the universe, a place where the resolution of reality drops to zero. My name is Leo, and 30 minutes ago, I was a living, breathing human being. Now, I am a low-resolution ghost trapped inside a corrupted directory. My skin is starting to pixelate, my voice is turning into 8-bit static, and something called the system admin is coming to empty the trash. If you are hearing this, do not open the file labeled final_archive. Because once you're compressed, there is no way to expand back into the real world. I was working the night shift at a data recovery firm, the kind of job where you spend 10 hours a day staring at green lines of code in a room that smells like burnt dust and old coffee. I found an unlabeled server in the corner of the basement, a heavy, beige box from the late 90s that shouldn't have been plugged in. On the screen, a single folder sat in the center of a black void. It was titled, The Compression Room. I clicked it, thinking it was some forgotten corporate project. The moment the loading bar hit 100%, the world didn't just change, it glitched. The walls of my office didn't fall, they simply lost their texture. The coffee stain on my desk turned into a flat brown square. The air became thin, smelling not of oxygen, but of warm silicon and ozone. I looked at my hands and screamed, but the sound that came out was a jagged, electronic screech. My fingers were losing their roundness, turning into sharp, blocky polygons. I tried to run for the door, but the door was no longer a door. It was a 2D image of an exit, pasted onto a wall that stretched upward into an infinite blue skybox, the same flat, emotionless blue you see when a computer crashes. I am trapped in the directory now. It's an infinite grid of gray office cubicles, but there are no chairs, no computers, and no people. Just the endless hum of a cooling fan that sounds like a hurricane in the distance. Every time I blink, the world loses more detail. The shadows are becoming jagged black triangles. The light doesn't come from a sun, it comes from a single, white pixel floating at the top of the sky, casting a cold, mathematical glare over everything. I heard the first click about 10 minutes in. It wasn't a physical sound, it was the sound of a mouse clicking in the real world. A massive, translucent window appeared in the sky, a giant cursor hovering over the horizon. I watched in horror as a select box dragged across a row of cubicles. The moment the box touched them, the cubicles vanished into a cloud of white cubes. They weren't destroyed, they were deleted. That's when I saw him. The system admin. He didn't walk into the room, he spawned. He is a towering, faceless entity made of pure, jagged static. His body vibrates at a different frame rate than the rest of the world, making it painful to look at him. He moves in staccato bursts, teleporting 10 feet at a time with a sound like a speaker tearing. He doesn't have eyes, but I can feel him scanning the environment, looking for corrupted data. To him, I am not a person. I am a bug in the system. I am a file that was never supposed to be opened. I ducked behind a low-resolution partition, my breath coming in short, digitized gasps. I looked down at my legs and realized my feet were gone. They had been compressed into simple, gray blocks. The pain wasn't physical, it was a deep, existential wrongness, as if my very soul was being squeezed through a needle's eye. I found a floppy disk lying on the floor, the only item in this world with any detail. On it, someone had scribbled in frantic, jagged handwriting, "The trash is never empty. He is coming to trim the cache." If you're still watching, you need to understand the stakes. This isn't just a story about a man in a computer. This is a warning about the digital footprint we leave behind. Every deleted photo, every forgotten email, every piece of ourselves we put online, it all ends up here. And eventually, the system admin has to make room for more. The admin moved closer, his static-filled shadow stretching across the floor like a spreading ink stain. He raised a hand that ended in long, needle-like protrusions, digital shears. He reached out and touched a nearby wall, and I watched as the textures were stripped away, leaving only a wireframe skeleton. He is cleaning the room, and I am the next item on his list. I found a terminal at the end of the hallway, the only thing that looked functional. I started typing, my blocky fingers clattering against the keys. I was trying to write a run command, a way to execute an exit strategy. But the keyboard was losing its letters. The E vanished. Then the X. The system was crashing around me. The blue skybox began to turn a deep, vibrating red, the color of a fatal system error. The admin is standing right behind me now. I can hear the high-pitched whine of his static, a sound that feels like it's trying to rewrite my DNA. He isn't going to kill me. He is going to archive me. I will be compressed into a single byte of data, stored in a dark corner of a server that will never be opened again. I will be awake, I will be aware, but I will be nothing more than a zero in a world of ones. I have one last chance. I am uploading this confession into the firm's outgoing mail server. If you are seeing this on your screen, it means the file successfully jumped the gap between the compression room and your reality. But be careful. Look at the edges of your screen right now. Are they a little blurry? Do the colors look a bit too flat? The system admin doesn't just stay in the basement. He follows the data. He follows the viewers. By watching this, you've opened a port. You've given him a path. If you want to know how to close the port, if you want to know how to stay uncompressed, you need to stay tuned to the silent hallway. Like and subscribe, not for me, but to keep your own resolution high.